Josh, here we are fixing something that we've inherited.
Yeah.
What's going wrong here?
So this post and beam front porch here out of this rough-sawn cypress looks very beautiful.
Beautiful.
But the detail that the guys put into it wasn't really great. They messed up this cut. They tried to fix it with a Sawzall, and now there's this big, gigantic, horrible looking gap here where the sunlight shines right through, and it's really bad. That's
awful looking, yeah.
And because it's rough-sawn cypress, we're really limited on what we can do to fix it here. They got all these extra pencil marks on it. If I try to sand that out, I'm going to sand off the rough-sawn look, and it's no longer going to be rough-sawn. So you'd have to sand the whole thing, which takes away from the look they were going for in the first place. So what we're going to try to do here is fill it full of clear caulking. And then I have a container that is full of cypress dust, sawdust, that will be a close match. And we're just going to try to fill it as best we can without making an even bigger mess than's already there. So I'm going to inject some of this clear caulking into the opening and then pack that with the sawdust. And then I'm probably going to take a wire brush and try to stroke that to give it some wood grain look. And I'm probably going to try to use the wire brush to remove some of this pencil mark, because the wire brush will not take off the rough-sawn look. It will only enhance it. And that's what we're going to try. This is just a test to see if we can pull this off. This is not how I would normally repair something like this. I would take this out and cut a brand new one and throw that one away. But they don't have any more. You know, we've inherited this mess. This is not something that we did. We're just trying to fix a problem that's existing. So that's what we're going to try. So I'm going to get up in here. I'm going to try to fill this full of caulking best I can, keeping the mess as small as possible. All right, that's all the caulking I'm willing to put in there. If you'll hand me that tub there, Brian, I'll...
Good hands.
I'm going to try to work my magic here.
Oh, the Cobra technique.
And unfortunately, I can already tell that the dust in this container did not get the sunlight that has, and hasn't had the weathering that it has had.
Well, I don't see daylight through there anymore.
No, there's no more daylight shining through. I'm going to use the tools that I was born with here. These wicked gnarly fingernails I've got. Just trying to make sure I get as much of that caulking cleaned off there as I can, because it will stop this wood from weathering evenly. We want everything to age the same so that this isn't super noticeable. And I think that's the best we can do with what we've been given here to try to fix that.
And again, you're going to hit that with a wire brush.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my wire brush out of my toolbox. I'm going to try to wire brush some of these.
But I think that looks pretty darn good.
It does look a whole lot better than it did.
Absolutely. And again, it won't grab the eye.
And that's the main thing, is the way that the sun moves from the day. It rises from this side, comes across to that side. There's always sunlight shining through here. And all it was doing was the sunlight coming through is amplifying that mistake.
Right.
And we're just trying to mask it the best that we can.
I like that. That's a neat trick. Odd jobs, hijinks.
Odd jobs, hijinks.
So you're using the wire brush here, Josh, going with the grain, of course, to get those pencil marks out.
Yeah, I want to go with the grain because all I want to do, if anything, I want to get rid of the pencil mark. If I make the grain deeper,
yeah,
and make it stand out even more, that'd be better than getting rid of the grain at all. Because
right.
This finished rough sawn stuff is the look they're looking for.
Right.
And I'm really getting the majority of it out of there. I'm scrubbing pretty hard on this to get rid of that pencil mark. And I'm even gonna go beyond it a little bit here.
Yeah.
Once I do this, to try to blend it in so it doesn't look like I only worked this spot. And
it'll age, so it'll eventually look like the rest of it.
I think it will eventually blend in and look the same. This one coming at a diagonal, boy, they really...
Well, they got it deep in there, didn't they?
They really pushed hard on that pencil. All right, I think I got the majority of that off. Now I'm just kind of blending, trying to make it not so noticeable that I've worked that spot. We go a little bit this direction. Got to get this one here. Got some pencil mark there too. Oh, I just noticed those.
Oh, geez. Folks, I tell you what, it's so fun inheriting other people's work sometimes. Well, that looks a ton better already.
Yeah. Is it all the way across underneath there?
And I bet it's on the other side, but...
Oh, it is. It is. I think I'm going to roll with that, Brian. I mean, right here, I'm so close to it, I can still see it.
Yeah.
How is it from down there? Is it gone mostly?
Let's look at it from behind you here. Oh, yeah. For back here, you lose it in the wood grain.
You lose it in the wood grain?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm not going to go any further because I'm really starting to pull that wood grain out, and I don't want this to be more grainy than that. This is all blending, folks, just like if you were painting a spot, doing a spot patch on a wall with paint. After you get your spot, you're going to want to blend around all that. All right.
Well, those went deep, didn't they?
Yeah, they really got heavy with that pencil. Typically, when you're doing this kind of work, or when I'm doing this kind of work with rough sawn lumber and I have to make a pencil mark, I'll make the pencil mark on the piece I'm removing.
Right.
I will lose the pencil line. I wouldn't leave it. I don't think they ever intentionally meant to make a cut here. I think somewhere along the way, someone made a mistake. The marks were here. They ended up using this piece. They probably didn't think they were going to. And they used it. They put it up here. Here it is. They're gone. We're here. I'm going to do the best I can to fix it. All right. I think I've got it off enough. And there's still some there.
But maybe with normal aging, you know.
And with the majority of it gone, it's probably not going to stick out as much. Hopefully that really, I mean, I can still see it from here, but I know it's there. It's not as bad as it was.
Right.
And I didn't take away any of the rough-sawn look.
Exactly.
We're going to work the underside of this one just a little bit here. Try to clean it up a little bit too.
Again, folks, just as a reminder, some of you are thinking just get out the sander. Well, yeah, we can get rid of it with a sander, but we would lose the rough hewn aspect of this piece of timber. By sanding it, it would be smooth and the rest of the timber wouldn't look right. So we're trying to use the wire brush to maximize that rough look, get into those grooves and get as much of that lead out as possible, graphite. And it's slowly vanishing. And it's just, you know, elbow grease.
Yeah, I'm pushing pretty hard, folks.
Probably could have also used a drill with a wire wheel on it, maybe.
We could have used a drill with a wire wheel or some kind of a wire brush. The only reason I do have one, is it's going to be much more aggressive than what I'm doing with my hand. Even though this is a little bit physically harder, it's more controllable.
Right.
Where with the wire brush, the drill is going to be a couple thousand RPMs. As soon as I touch it, it's going to start to eat. I don't want to have to rework the whole entire beam. So I'm trying to take a little bit off at a time and then blend it in. Yeah,
I think the only thing they make those variable speed ones based on your trigger finger.
Yeah.
So maybe, but like you said, it's just elbow grease and you're able to truly fine tune that better than a mechanical. But yeah, maybe a mechanical could have done that. But I like the way you feathered it in.
It's not perfect, folks. And
but again, it doesn't draw the eye like it used to.
No, it's definitely better.
Right.
Definitely better. And I didn't take away any of the rough-sawn look. The wood grain is still there. It's still pronounced. That's the look they were looking for. I didn't hurt any of that. I did get rid of the majority of the pencil line. Now I think with some normal weathering and age, all this is going to gray out.
Yeah.
If you saw the porch from the other side looking this way, they're more gray. Where this side is more yellow because it's getting direct sunlight and has been for months. This side will eventually gray out too, with wet and dry, with rain and winter and weather and snow. It'll all gray out, and what little bit is left there will go away in time. But for right now, looking up there, you can't really see it.
Great job, as usual.
Thank you. Odd job, hijinks.